that Michelle is on, okay? Okay, so before I get to the to read the, well, I guess I could read it now. Hold on a second. Here it is. No, that's not it. Anything so. All right. Adequate public notice of this meeting was given in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10-4-7 et sec, by written advance notice given on July 31st, 2025, of the time, date, location, and to the extent known, the agenda of this meeting, and a statement that formal action may be taken at this meeting. Such notice has been prominently posted in at least one public place reserved for such or similar announcements, specifically New Jersey Historic Preservation Office, delivered to 4 newspapers, specifically the Trenton Times, the Jersey Journal, and the Newark Star Ledger, and filed with the Secretary of State on that date, all pursuant to the act. Okay. So I'm going to read the ground rules, but Kate, you told me that you wanted to give some instructions about coming off of mute and things like that. Kate, can you hear me? You are still on mute if you're talking.
Instructions about what? I didn't catch what you said.
I think Kate stepped over to talk to Christopher. I think Christopher was going to do a presentation about the specifics of Teams.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes,
well,
I'm sorry.
Are you there?
Sorry about that, Madam Chair. Yes.
That's okay.
I'm like, we were trying to just do some troubleshooting.
So we're trying to get it, we're trying to be better, but I hear you. Did you want to give your demonstration and then I will go through the ground rules for the meeting?
Sure. That's fine with me. Yeah. Let me just share my screen. I've got just a short kind of visual here. Hopefully everybody can see.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So good morning, everyone. Before we started the meeting, I want to take the opportunity on behalf of the Historic Preservation Office and the Historic Sites Council to just give a quick rundown of how Teams works. For some of you, this is probably a refresher, but we just wanted to make sure so everybody's on the same page to help this go as smoothly as possible. So if you're joining the meeting from a computer today, whether that computer is a laptop or a desktop, your toolbar at the top of the screen should look like this on the screen right now. Please note, for the purposes of the meeting, we ask that you only use the options that have the arrows pointed towards them. I'll give everyone a moment to just find the corresponding icons, to just make sure that we're all on the same page here. So as the chair mentioned, the default, as I think you're going to mention, Sophia, the default setting for everyone in the meeting is cameras off and mics off. It's purposely been set up this way to start with. So if you can't unmute and turn your camera on, there's nothing you've done wrong. As the meeting progresses, if you're going to address the council, HPO staff will enable you to unmute your microphone and turn on your camera. Please note that the HPO staff cannot turn on either option. We can only give you the ability to unmute yourself and to turn your camera on. So you'll still have to click the corresponding buttons at the top of your screen to unmute yourself and to turn your camera on if you're going to be addressing the council. I'm just going to quickly go through what you'll see when you click on the above icons, going from left to right. So if you click on chat, you'll see this window open on the right-hand side of your screen. Some people may already have the chat open. We ask that you use the chat to indicate whether or not you'd like to speak to the council. If you do, please input your name and the project you'd like to speak on behalf of. HPO staff will be monitoring the chat today and will make the council aware that you'd like to address them. If you indicated that you wanted to speak at the last meeting, we still have that list. And you do not need to indicate that you'd like to speak again. Additionally, we ask everybody today to not use the raise hand function to indicate that you'd like to speak. It's easier for us to ensure that we have a more reliable list of people who want to present or who want to give public comment if you just input in the comments section, the chat function. Please, we ask that you do not use the chat for anything other than inputting your names and indicating you'd like to speak with the council. This may create confusion for us, and it may cause us to miss some people who want to speak. So moving along the toolbar, clicking the icon labeled mic will mute and unmute your microphone. As a reminder, you'll only be able to do this if we unmute or we give you the ability to unmute yourself. Likewise, clicking camera will turn your camera on only if we've given you the ability to do so. Both options, you may notice, have drop-down menus. You'll not need to utilize those for this meeting. I do want to mention, as some people had issues unmuting themselves in the last meeting, according to Teams's website, we would also recommend that you try pressing Control and Spacebar together if you're on a Windows computer, and if you're on a Mac, press Option and Spacebar together. That's the like the hotkey for unmuting yourself if you can't see the microphone. So maybe that'll hopefully help for this meeting. If you're joining this meeting from a smartphone, your view is going to be slightly different. I don't know if this applies to anybody, but you'll see these toolbars at the top and bottom of your screen respectively. The icons are the same and they'll work the same way. The chat's at the top, mute and camera are at the bottom. Finally, if you're dialing into the meeting, you'll need to press *5 to indicate that you'd like to speak. That'll give us a notification that you'd like to speak, and we'll make sure that we note that since you can't use the chat function. When it's your time to speak, pressing *6 will unmute your microphone when we've allowed you to do so. And then finally, if you have any technical issues during the course of the meeting, please feel free to reach out to njhpo@dep.nj.gov. I'll just, in case anybody on the phone needs that again, I'll say it one more time, njhpo@dep.nj.gov. HPO staff is going to be monitoring this email inbox throughout the meeting and will help you with any concerns. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to review some ground rules for the meeting, so that to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Couple of these things you will already hear Christopher already said, but your microphone and camera are automatically disabled. He also asked that everyone that has their hand raised, that you please unraise your hand so that your icon no longer shows that your hand is raised. So there are still several people that have their hand raised, and I'm asking you to please turn your hands off and use the chat function as we've asked you. So Cynthia Hallaby, please put your hand down. This is on here. Stacy Sappartarsaris, I'm sorry, I got your name screwed up, but please put your hand down as well. And then there are several people on the phone that you have your hands raised, and I'm asking you to put your hands down as well. And I don't know if anyone, Christopher, is there any way to put the hands down? Can you do that on the back end or not?
I think Christopher's away from his desk. I'll ask him when he gets back.
Okay.
Sorry, we
No
run around
worries.
sometimes in between. But I do
Okay.
think the hands for phone numbers indicate that people want to speak. So I think we need to record those before they get removed. So
Understood. Okay, then I need somebody to come back and we'll have to undo them slowly so that we can figure out who they are. Okay, we'll come back
I
to that.
have been recording them. And then another thing is there's many people here who put their name in the chat, but thankfully many of them note it when they already spoke. And I double checked, we have them all on the list.
Okay, perfect.
I don't want to respond to everyone. I don't have time for that.
Understood.
Because busy chat. Thank you.
Busy chat, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going, okay. The first item of business is a continuation of the proposed athletic field at the Zabriskie Shetler House. The law requires.
Sophia?
Oh. Yes,
I apologize, but do you need me to take, roll?
I was still going through the ground rules.
Okay, thank you.
No, no problem. I was just reading the thing that Kate sent me. It's part of the ground rules, and then we'll do roll. Okay. The law requires DEP to make a final decision on the proposed athletic field application at the Shetler House within 120 days of receiving a complete application. That deadline is August 27th. If the Historic Sites Council is going to make a recommendation to DEP on this application, that needs to happen today. We will start this item of business where we left off at the July 21st, 2025 meeting. We will continue with the public comment where we left off after the July meeting. In order to ensure that we have adequate time as a council to deliberate on this project and make a recommendation to the DEP, I am limiting public comment to 1.5 hours. Each person who is able to be heard within the hour and a half will have 2 minutes to comment. In order to hear comments from as many people who would like to comment, we will not hear, sorry. In order to hear comments from as many people who would like to comment as possible, we will not hear from individuals who have already commented on this project on July 21st. Any public attending this meeting who did not already speak at the July 21st, 2025 meeting, but would like to provide comments to the council and are not already on the list wishing to comment should type their name and what project they would like to comment on using the chat. HBO staff, as mentioned, will be monitoring the chat and add names they see in the chat on the list of people who would like to provide comment. The chat should only be used to communicate with the staff, with council. The chat should not be used for conversations between members of the public, and all comments in the chat should be civil, courteous, and respectful of different perspectives. Please do not use the chat for anything other than adding your name to if you're wishing to address the council. Okay, Megan, can you now take
Sure.
Sophie, do we need a motion to take the matter off the table?
Well, we need to have roll call first, and I need to make sure
Okay.
that that Michelle is able to join us properly.
Thank you.
Okay, Robert Preston. Sophia Jones Bradford.
Here.
Flavia Alaya.
Here.
Luann DeCunzo.
Here.
Mary Lou Erler. Melbourne Garber. David Garnes. Michelle Glassberg.
Michelle,
Okay, she
check
answered
that
in the
she's-
chat, yeah.
yes.
Jean Housen
Here.
and Susan Ryan.
Here.
We have 6, we have quorum.
Okay, thank you. Do we know if Michelle is able to get her camera and mic working? You
Think
on mute,
staff is,
Megan? Oh. They're working on it, Kate?
they're working on it right now.
Okay, no problem. Before we start, we're gonna have our council make a statement. Is she on, Kate? Oh, no.
Chloe, are you on the meeting?
Did she have to be unmuted?
Yeah, let me do that.
She says she needs to be unmuted.
I My mic is on.
Hi,
No,
can you
not,
hear me?
not you. Our
Oh,
council
sorry.
is going to make a statement, Flavia. Yes, we
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me? Okay, great.
Yes.
Hi. Good morning, everybody. My name is Chloe Gogo, and I am the Deputy Attorney General representing the Historic Sites Council. I have been in receipt of additional public comments concerning the Shedler House, which were sent directly to me by email. I have passed them along to the Historic Preservation Office. I just want to remind everyone that I represent the council, and I am not permitted to provide legal advice to anyone else nor respond to public comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, council. Okay, so yes, Flavia, can we move to resume?
A motion to untable the matter before us, the Ridgewood matter. Is that
Okay.
what you're looking for?
Yes, can we get a
So-
second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Luann. Okay, now, I think. Megan, do you have the list?
Sure. Oh, yes.
And then, who's timing?
Vinny.
Vinny, okay,
Yeah, I got it.
thank you.
Okay, so those that are not highlighted have not spoken from the last meeting. And Kate and I went over the video to double check everything.
Okay.
So can you see the list? So it starts with Brian Delatorre.
Okay. Can you see? If Mr. Delatorre is on? To
He
unmute
sent
him?
information in the chat, so yeah. And David is in charge of enabling mics.
Yes.
Okay,
So. Okay, Mr. Delatorre, you are now able to unmute yourself.
And I did. Thank you for the time and thank you for this process. My name is Brian Delatorre. I'm a Ridgewood resident, lifelong resident of New Jersey. I just wanted to reiterate and state that this is an example of a municipality that did what we who appreciate history and appreciate land use. They were a good steward of the land in this case, right? This is a property that easily could have been a strip mall and produced revenues for the village. They didn't allow that to happen. Once we took control of the property, our Mayor Knutson, not some third-party group, recognized that this property was historic and got it filed as a historic property. They did everything right. And all along, we were trying to also build a field. And the reason the field is so important is because we have a lot of kids who play a lot of sports, and a lot of the sports is not competitive athletics. It's kickball, it's t-ball, it's kinder kickers. And these kids use fields, but those are really opportunities to build community. And this is an example of a project that when passed will give hope to other municipalities and will hopefully inspire Ridgewood and other municipalities to go through the process to preserve historic assets. And by allowing it to be a property that's useful in multiple ways, that only encourages other people to do it. And conversely, if this project is rejected, it discourages municipalities from pursuing this process, which is intended and is wonderful for the state of New Jersey to preserve our heritage, to preserve our history, and to preserve our land. And so I really encourage you to think through the ramifications, because this is exactly the kind of project that New Jersey needs. We need to not destroy these historic sites, but we also need to allow the land to be used
Mr.
so that
Delatorre, your
municipalities
time has expired.
pursue them. Thank you.
okay, thank you so much. Next, we have John Peckin. The quick win.
I believe that would be JH, so I think. Okay, John, your mic should be, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Luann, can you mute your mic?
And again, I'm not seeing a John I see just JH. It's just initials. So I've enabled that microphone.
Maybe that's me.
Okay.
Who-
Um,
Oh, it's Jean, okay. And then I just also we're gonna move on because John
Okay.
is number 11, but John is also number 62 twice.
Hello, this is JH.
yes,
is-
are you John?
No, I am not John. I just wanted to correct that I am not John Packlin.
Okay.
I'm Jacqueline
Okay,
Owen.
thank you. All right, thank you. I'm going to disable your mic.
Okay, next is Philip Carg.
Okay, Philip. I do not see a Philip either. It's in the attendee list is in alphabetical order by first name. I'm not seeing a Philip.
Okay, do you see a George Wright?
I do not. Let me see if I can scroll through the chat. I don't see a George Wright.
Okay, do you see a Han-Jürgen Lehman?
Yes. Yeah, I
Okay,
have
unmute that
Hans-Jürgen
person.
Lehman. Okay. Hans-Jürgen Lehman, your microphone has been enabled. You can unmute yourself.
You can hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Hans-Jürgen Lehman. I have been a resident of Ridgewood since 1995 and first became aware of this property when our village council authorized its purchase in 2009. Somehow it became embroiled in fighting before even any development was contemplated. It pains me to note that several generations of Ridgewood school children have not benefited from the use of this property. That's 16 years and counting, and a true shame. From the very outset, the village council purchased the land to protect it from commercial development. And from the very beginning, it was clearly stated that our children should have a field thereon to play sports. Field availability is a problem in Ridgewood, and Shedler was intended to give some relief to our local sports programs. On and off over the years, I have gone to the Shedler property to see just what was going on. Other than the house, not much positive in my estimation. Right now, it's a mess that needs to get fixed. No one has been able to use the property for years now. A lot of money has been spent on the house, and to what purpose? It's time to find a good use for all the money that has been spent. The plan before you now makes good use of a historical home that is not isolated, but sits in a pleasant park setting with a sports field and an inclusive playground. For my part, I hope that you will move ahead with approval of the plan in front of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next is Robert Lynch.
Okay, Robert. Let's see. I have a Robert Gregoria. That's it.
Okay, keep looking. Look on the list. Do you? Okay. What about Susan? Susan has no last name.
Yeah, I have a Susan unverified. Can
Okay,
unmute that.
unmute. Okay.
Okay. Susan, your mic has been enabled. You can unmute yourself. Okay, we're not hearing anything from Susan.
Okay, Caitlin O'Rourke.
Okay.
And while we're doing this, the person who called in with JH, can you please put your full name in the chat so that we know who you are on the list, please?
So I don't have Caitlin O'Rourke. I have a Kaylin Tomaszewski, but no Caitlin.
Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Was Eleanor, go back to Eleanor Gruber because she's at the top. Can you
Let's
please
see.
unmute her?
Okay, Eleanor, A, B, C, D.
I'm here with Eleanor.
Who's that speaking?
Oh,
This is
okay.
Corey V.
The public meeting room.
Okay.
This is Eleanor Gruber. This is Eleanor Gruber.
I'll turn it down.
Hold on, just trying to get rid of the echo.
Okay, no problem.
I'm in your building. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. I hope. Hold on one second. I think that's working now. Thank you. My name is Eleanor Gruber, and I'm president of the Friends of the Historic Zabriskie Shedler House. I was cut off last time with technical difficulties, so I really appreciate this. I am calling today to clear up a couple of false statements that were made last time. Before I begin, I want to say there is no compelling need for a 350-foot multi-purpose field, which will impact the easement for the house. The village has a long history of compelling needs over the past decade. First, when it destroyed a two-family house to make way for a larger soccer field, or second, when it demolished a house in good condition to also make way for a field. You heard from the chair of the Open Space Committee that the neighbors and town representatives agreed upon this field. This is untrue. Let me be clear. The field that was agreed upon by all segments of the community, including me, in the years 2017 and 18 was a medium-sized field which did not impact the house. As important, there were many fewer trees torn down. We would not be coming before you, taking up so much of your time if a new administration did not delete the original resolution and replace it with this larger field, which impacts the house. You heard from our village manager that a beautiful new historic center would be established if the larger field was granted. While we're pleased that the village agreed to a use for the historic center, we never heard one word of this until they offered this to you as proof of their love of historic buildings. Previous to this, the village ignored a proposal for such a historic center because the building was too small. You've heard from many residents that this opposition to the 350-foot field has nothing
Ms.
to
Gruber,
do
your
with
time has
opposition to
expired.
sports. That is not why we oppose this plan.
Okay, Ms.
Thank you
Gruber,
very
thank
much.
you. Okay, Peter Enner.
So Peter, I do not have a Peter on the attendees list.
Okay, let's keep moving then. Go to the top of the, can you make it a little bit bigger? It looks like Donald Henke.
Who are we looking for next on the list again? Sorry.
Donald Henke, number 34.
Donald Henke. Do not have a Donald.
Okay, do you have a Sharab Dunny?
Sarab with an S. Yes, I have a Sarab. So
Okay, that person is next.
okay. Sarab, your microphone has been enabled and you can unmute yourself.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good morning. I first wanted to clarify and put on the record that I'm totally speaking in my personal capacity, and I'm not representing here any board of committees that I sit on. So I'm totally speaking in my personal individual capacity as a resident of Ridgewood. And I wanted to speak on 2 points. One, and both are directly related to original mandate for this hearing. One was the buffer or impact to the historical house. At the last meeting, we heard about tree canopy, which Ali recently just mentioned about the larger size and impact to the house and the easement. So the tree canopy has been used in the past in Ridgewood, in zoning board and planning board multiple times throughout the years. And Village of Ridgewood does not have a good record of implementing it or enforcing it. So if the safety that you are going to agree to is tree canopy, then how would you enforce that that tree canopy stays on for 20, 30, 40 years down the road, or even 10 years down the road? They may install small trees now, but who is going to confirm that they are going to be maintained? Because historically, this has not been done. Residents have showed up at multiple village meetings for different homes and where buffers were agreed to, and there's no enforcement. That enforcement is not good from village side. And the second point is, in the original application, the village did not just use village field inventory, they used Board of Ed and other inventories. But when it came to one of the things that historical HPO is looking for is available alternatives. And for the alternatives, the village manager mentioned last time.
Mr. Downey, your time has expired.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Carolyn Holt.
Okay, Carolyn with a C. Let's see, Carolyn. I do not have a Carolyn Holt.
Okay, Jim Bostler.
Okay, Jim Bostler. James Bostler, right? Okay, so, James, your microphone has been enabled. You can now unmute yourself. James Bostler, you can now unmute yourself to speak. Okay, yeah, no, it's definitely enabled, so.
Okay, can you just go to the next one?
Okay. So disable, then who's next on the list?
Joanne Loika.
Joanne Loika. I do not have a Joanne Loika.
Okay, Julia Buckley.
There is not a Julia Buckley either.
Okay, Tim Whiting.
Tim Whiting. No Tim Whiting.
Okay, what about Taylor McFarland?
Yes, I have Taylor McFarland. So, Taylor McFarland, your microphone has been enabled. You can now unmute yourself to speak.
Great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Taylor McFarland. I'm the Conservation Program Manager for the Sierra Club New Jersey chapter. Sierra Club is the oldest and largest environmental nonprofit in the country with an estimated 4 million members nationwide. We request that the State Historic Preservation Office reject the artificial turf proposal for the historic Shedler property. Any development on this site should be restricted due to significant contamination. The village must focus on effective remediation and restoration of the area to remove contamination completely. Once a complete remediation plan is completed and the New Jersey DEP determines that there is no threat to the public, it would be appropriate to propose an active recreation plan that includes a smaller natural grass field rather than the current proposed multi-purpose artificial turf field. We support active recreation that is safe for both the environment and people. Unfortunately, this proposed artificial turf field presents serious environmental and public health risks. It's also concerning that an EI and environmental assessment has not been conducted to assess the impacts of artificial turf development, as such an assessment would likely reveal water quality impacts, the heat island effect, microplastic pollution, and major health concerns associated with microplastic pollution. Removing mature trees and installing artificial turf, along with increased impervious surfaces such as a parking lot, the foundation for bleachers, and more, will likely increase flooding, We need to protect natural systems in our environment to help reduce the impacts of storms and flooding. One of the most concerning issues with artificial turf is the extreme heat it generates. On warm days, synthetic turf tends to heat up even more than natural grass, making the surface very hot and amplifying the heat island effect. Temperatures can reach 158 degrees Fahrenheit on a day when the air temperature is 96 degrees. Over 20 years, an artificial turf field can cost $4.2 million more than a natural grass field.
Ms.
Maintenance
McFarland,
includes-
your time has expired.
Again, this proposal should not be approved, and we respectfully request the State Historic Preservation Office to
Thank
deny.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going
Next,
to disable
Linda,
Taylor's mic.
Linda Martichek.
Okay. Let me see, Linda. I don't see a Linda, and it's been brought to my attention. So there's no Linda. Oh yeah, there is. I'm sorry, Linda's here. There's also a hand raised on a phone number. We think that could be Carolyn Holt, possibly. Should I just go on and unmute Linda?
Unraise the hand. Can you disable? I mean, sorry, not disable.
Yeah, I'll
Can you
unraise
see
the hand.
if the person on with the hand raised is Carolyn Holt?
Sure. Hi. The phone number with your hand raised. I've allowed your microphone. You can unmute yourself now.
Hello?
We suspect you may.
Hi, we
Hi.
can hear you. Is this Carolyn Holt?
Oh, okay. No, it's Madeline Kinzani.
We are
Okay.
okay. We're not to you
All
yet.
right. So.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, Madeline. We're gonna turn your mic off. Okay.
So
Disable
Linda.
microphone. Okay. Okay. So Linda, yes, we do have a Linda. Okay. Linda Martizek. So Jake. L.
Linda says
Okay,
she cannot
so-
unmute her mic. So just make
She's
sure
good now. Linda, you can unmute yourself now. Yep, I saw it come off mute.
Hello, we hear you.
Okay, my name is Martisek. I've been a resident for over 78 years in this town. And I must say one thing, that when the original proposal came for a sports field, it was much smaller and it was a natural grass field and it did not impact, including destroying the rest of the woods. And I think it's my personal opinion, but I think the time and money that has been spent and will be spent constructing another sports field on historic land when the town should have been correcting the problems with the existing fields that we already have in this town. And I truly believe that we should have sports in this town. I'm not against it, but I'm against, the impact it's going to have in our neighborhood. And my property directly abuts Shedler's Field. And from what I understand, a permanent bathrooms are going to be constructed. And I would like to know how many feet it's going to be away from my property line, because my property does abuts Shedler's property. And again, I say we do not need another sports field, not an historical land, and not at this grand scheme of things. Like I said, the original plan was for a much smaller field that did not destroy the rest of the land here or impact the neighbors or their, with the artificial turf possibly poisoning our wells or hurting our children. I thank you for your time and help. And I hope you take my comments into your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, can you go back up so we can see who's next? Brooke Hemlick. So that was Linda.
Okay, Brooke Hemlick. A-B. I do not have a Brooke Hemlick on the attendees.
Okay, Anna Grossman.
Okay, so we do have Anna. And Anna, I have allowed your microphone. You can now come off of mute.
Yes, good morning. This is Anna Grossman. I live in Montclair, New Jersey. I will speak fast because you unfairly cut our time. I'd like to share what this plan, come to life, will actually be like, so you know what will befall this historic site. How do I know? Because I live across the street from a recently built artificial turf sports field, where there used to be historic, mature native oaks, berms, and grass. Now there is plastic grass. First, the trees were cut down. I watched and sobbed watching them fall as wildlife ran and flew out of the trees, hundreds of ecosystems ending in a matter of hours. I know you've been informed half of the Skedler property trees are invasive. This is a red herring and in direct conflict with NJDP's mandate to increase shade tree canopy. Then the bulldozers came and dug for weeks, displacing the natural environment entirely. Massive piles of soil and rock filled the site, and dust from them blew all over our homes. Then the commercial rollers came, compacting the soil over and over again and killing the biodiversity and ecosystem within the soil. Then the drainage pipes were dug and the entire area topped with 18 inches of crushed gravel. All of this work was so intense, our homes vibrated and shook all day long, to the point that none of us actually felt a difference when we had an earthquake in April of 2024. I shudder to think about the impact on the historic house. Finally came the underlayment, shock pad, and acres of plastic carpet being rolled out, bringing with it concerns of PFAS, pollution, microplastics, urban heat island. NJDP is mandated to mitigate heat islands. Why are you creating them? This summer, with all the rain and heat, our neighborhood is boiling hot and smells of hot plastic and chemicals. Please note the field I'm speaking of does not use recycled rubber crumb, and yet it stinks like a wet old sneaker drenched in sweat. Lastly, my understanding is this
Ms.
site's next
Grossman,
to
your
wells.
time has
How
expired.
can you approve PFAS contamination
Okay,
when
thank
you're
you.
taking money to
Next, we
settle it?
have
Okay, I'm
Ramon
gonna
Hayes.
disable the microphone. So Ramon Hayes, let's see. PQ. I do not have a Ramon Hayes.
Okay, go on to the next one, which is Liz Cloak.
Liz Cloak. No Liz Cloak.
Okay, keep going. Pamela Perron. You have
Pamela
Linda
Perron.
twice, I think. So I think the next one is Pamela Perron.
Okay, Pamela Perron. Let's see. Yes, I do have Pamela Perron. So I have now allowed Pamela's microphone. Pamela, you can unmute yourself to speak. Pamela Perron. Pamela Perron, your microphone has been enabled. You can speak now and unmute your microphone.
Okay, just go to the next one.
Okay.
Who's next? Glenn Jorgensen.
Glenn Jorgensen. EFGH. No Glenn Jorgensen.
Okay, what about Hyun Kwok?
Hyun Kwok.
Hyun
Yes, I
Ju
do have
Kwok.
Hyun. Yes, I do have Hyun Ju. I will unmute them now. Okay, allow. Hyun Ju Kwok, your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute to speak.
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for all the attention and dedication to this Shedler project. As a longtime resident of Ridgewood, please deny this application for this irreversible encroachment on this historic site. Artificial turf instead of natural grass, and permitting an oversized sports complex overriding the historic preservation mandate should not be approved. The village should be exploring alternative field sites instead of pursuing this harmful action that would damage this historic site. Thank you very much for all that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Jane Conrad.
Okay, Jane Conrad. I do not have a Jane Conrad. No.
Okay, next is Stacy with a T. Saris.
Okay, Stacy. Let me see. Stacy PQ. Yes, I have Stacy. So
Okay.
Stacy Tepsaris, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute to speak.
Thank you. Thank you to the SHPO Council for your support and patience through this long application. I'm the current chairperson of the Historic Preservation Commission in the Village of Ridgewood and a longtime resident since '97. Listening to the overwhelming interest expressed during the last SHPO meeting on July 21st, I was weighing how much of the concern centered around what is before us. The preservation, promotion, and protection of the house that was built in 1825 and its adjoining property, all in 7 acres. At its September 14, 2023 meeting, the Historic Preservation Commission reviewed the plans titled Zabriskie Shedler Property Park Development Plan Revision Date, August 29, 23, Historic Consultant Commission. I was not the chairperson at the time, but the vote was unanimously to not oppose the plan. The open space maintained, the historic home saved, Nationally Historic Registry obtained, objectives achieved. Now what? What is the evolution of a historic site? What makes a historic site relevant? The night prior to the last SHPO meeting of July 21st, I had just returned from our trip to Athens, Greece. It is undeniable that one's perspective is shaped by what we experience. History and historic sites leave an indelible mark in our lives and memories. That is why we have boards and commissions centered around preservation. But how is preservation achieved? Historic sites, if not frequented, are often forgotten. If not frequented, often neglected. In Athens, the Panathinaikos Stadium, 50,000 people strong, sat there, constructed in 330 BC by Herodotus. It was abandoned in 529 AD. In the late 18th century, before Shedler was built, reconstruction of the stadium was reinvigorated to host the modern games in 1896. Since then, it has been reinvigorated to host concerts, Diana Ross recently, and worldwide basketball tournaments.
Ms. Sapsaris, your time has expired.
Okay, thank you. So Carolyn Holt is on the phone, last 4 digits 8958.
Okay,
8958 on the phone.
8958 on the phone. Yes, I have 8958, so I will now allow the microphone. Okay, your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute, which is, I think that is *6 to come off of mute.
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Carolyn Holt. I've been a longtime resident of Ridgewood. This project brings together two important things to our village: our history and our outdoor activities, including sports. As many people have said, we just have a shortage of fields, and those fields that we have get overused. We have invested in this property many millions of dollars, as well as years of not having its use. If we want people to see this historic site, we need to complete the project. And the house, I'm actually very optimistic about what these plans will bring in terms of people coming to the house and interest in the house. And it will also serve a really important need for our village. So I urge you to support this plan. I think there's a lot of people that are throwing a lot of scary comments out, but at the end of the day, this plan, I do think, is what is in the best interest of the village. And I just thank you for your attention and giving me a chance to speak. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you unmute Tim Whiting, last 4 digits 6613?
Okay, last 4 digits 6613. Okay, yep. And so allow Mike. Tim, your mic has been enabled. You can come off of mute. Tim Whiting, phone number, last four digits 6613. Your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute. You would use *6 to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you then?
You able to?
Oh, there we go.
If
Hello?
you hear me, great.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, this is Tim Whiting. I'm a 30-year resident plus of Ridgewood. Please approve this usage. The original intent and purchase of the property was to add community sports fields. Our village has a severe shortage of this space. 3 of the major fields that we have are in floodplains. This property, in my opinion, never should have been part of the historic. It should have just been the improvement. The house is historic. If you think about what the property was back in its day, it was farmland, it was open space. So, ideally to go back to its original format would be to turn it into farmland. That's not really a appropriate use today. So I would suggest approving the space. We need the sports fields and the home. We've already spent an ungodly amount of money to restore the home. I think that's great. Creating the fields and bringing people to the site will expose the home and historic value of it, and I think that would be the best decision. So please approve the use.
Okay, thank you. Next, can you unmute Ramon Hayes? Last 4 digits 4977. He's number 46 on the list.
4977.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So Ramon, last 4 digits 4977. Your microphone has been enabled. You're able to come off of mute.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm coming before you today as a longtime Ridgewood resident. I grew up here, a former athlete who is now a parent of athletes, a volunteer coach and a former mayor and councilman, and as a former board member of the Bergen County Open Space Trust Fund and a former Bergen County commissioner. Very excited that we're here today talking about the development of Shidler Park. I was also part of the 2017 Shidler Ad Hoc Committee, which took into account the input from various stakeholders. The focus in 2017 was twofold: preserve the house and reach consensus in the future design and use of the park on the Shidler property. Now, context is very important. Ridgewood has the largest public school district in Bergen County. Along with a large student population comes a large number of participants in sports. The intensity of use of our fields, which include Board of Education and municipal fields, is extremely high. The majority of the participation in Ridgewood sports is pre-high school. We must also consider that since the 2017 plan, Ridgewood has experienced multiple serious flooding events. So the need for additional space in 2025 is even greater than it was back in 2017. Grass fields in town become unusable during and after heavy rains, which makes turf fields a more logical option. Unfortunately, our current turf fields are all in the floodplain, and they too become unusable due to flooding. We are in desperate need of additional turf fields outside of the floodplain. I understand that there was some concern raised regarding placing a turf field next to a historic house. As you are aware, there are several examples of blending turf fields with historic properties. Some are not very far from here, including Gothel Brook and Hinchcliffe Stadium. All it takes is a thoughtful plan, which is what you have before you today. A plan to preserve the historic significance of the house while addressing the needs and wants of the neighborhood and sports groups. A plan that provides an inclusive playground for our special needs population. A plan that will bring children to the park to pique their curiosity about the house, to want to learn about its history, to wonder what it looks like inside. The plan
Mr.
allows us
H.,
to finally
your
honor.
time has expired.
I encourage you to vote yes.
Thank you. Next, go back to Jim Bossler. Can you unmute he's on the phone, last 4 digits 9954.
Okay. Okay. Last 4 digits 9954 have been enabled. You can now come off of mute. Jim Bossler, Last four digits 9954. You can unmute yourself on your phone. That would be *6.
Yep, we can hear you.
It's Jim Bossler. Okay, I'll be very quick. My name is Jim Bossler. I'm chairman of the Ridgewood Open Space Committee. I moved to Ridgewood in '83 and became the chairman in 2024. By any metric you choose, Ridgewood does not have enough open space for a town of its size and population. There's also a growing disparity of the growth of activities versus the current resources. Focus of open space is acquisitions, maintenance, and enhancement and stewardship. When we bought Tabernacle, Citizens, and Shedler, we did so with the idea that we were also preventing Shedler from becoming a strip mall, a housing development, or another Starbucks drive-through. Since that time in 2013, when Tabernacle has become a jewel of Ridgewood. It's got pavilions, rain garden, trail improvements, and a multi-purpose park and field. We have not seen that success at Shedler. The original premise of the purchase was a local park and a multi-purpose field. The need has been supported through research that a majority of Ridgewood households want acquisitions to address both active and passive activity needs. The open space supports the need for a multi-purpose field developed at Shedler. A multi-purpose field would enhance the Shedler house by increasing awareness and usage. We respectfully request that the committee approve a multi-purpose field with passive and active participation that would benefit all of Ridgewood. The needs of the Ridgewood community would be satisfied while also
Mr.
benefiting
Bossler, your
the local
time has
community.
expired.
Okay, thank you. Next, Scott Muller.
Okay, Scott Muller. Yep, I have Scott Muller and Scott. Oh, 1 second. Scott, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Scott Muller. I'm a 30-year village resident and the president of a nonprofit Ridgewood Baseball and Softball Association. With 2025 registration totals of over 1,700 boys and girls who participate in both recreational and travel baseball and softball programs, we fielded over 150 teams throughout the season from early spring to late fall. Historically, field availability has been a monumental problem in our town. In 2009, one of the middle schools constructed a track for the high school. We lost a full-size baseball field and a softball field and batting cages. These athletic fields were promised to be replaced, but never happened. Also in 2009, the Shedler property was bought for the sole purpose of developing a park with active baseball diamond and multi-purpose athletic field. Field use is so stressed in our organization that teams now rent out facilities in neighboring towns of Ramsey, Hawthorne, Paramus, and Waldwick, with major costs going to the teams. We have even borrowed fields for games and practice time from our neighboring towns of Glen Rock and Ho-Hocus. This is not to mention what happens to scheduling fields when the Ho-Hocus Brook floods. Flooding happens multiple times a year. It takes weeks to mitigate the pollution and debris that collects on our fields. We submitted a petition of over 1,100 signatures supporting the development of Shedler Park with the use of the Zabriskie Historical House. The families of the RBSA and its 28-member board of trustees totally support the development of the Shedler property for a multi-purpose full-size turf field with a baseball diamond overlay.
Mr. Muller, your time has expired.
Thank you for your time. We totally
Thank you.
support.
Next is Jeanette LaRocco.
Jeanette LaRocco. Jeanette. I do not have Jeanette. No Jeanette Loraco.
Okay, can you go back up to Philip Clark? Do you see
Philip
a
Card.
Yep,
Yeah,
number
okay.
16. Can you
Philip.
unmute him, please?
So is he a phone? Is that a phone number? Because I don't have
No,
Philip in the attendees list.
he signed in as Philip Clark.
Oh, PK. Okay. Oh, maybe their hand is probably raised. Yep. Okay. So it's at the top of the list. Okay, Philip, your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute.
Everyone can hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. My name is Phil Karg. I'm the president of the Ridgewood Junior Football Association, and I'm here representing hundreds of local families and young athletes who participate in our youth sports programs. Investment in our sports programs promote physical health, mental well-being, community engagement, and leadership development. Our programs teach accountability, resilience, inclusion, and teamwork, values that mirror the fabric of what we call our community of Ridgewood. Right now, we're facing a multifaceted problem. Youth sport participation has surged, right? Particularly with the rise of new programs and more inclusive opportunities. In our flag program alone, we've grown from 400 to 800 participants over the last decade, more recently launching a girls-only flag league, which now serves over 200 participants, reflecting a much-needed expansion in access and representation. This growth has dramatically increased the pressure on our field availability. Demand exceeds what our infrastructure can support, and as others have mentioned, we're using other towns to meet basic needs. Of the 3 turf fields we have already that are part of the Board of Education in the village, all are located in floodplains, which is creating a significant ripple effect for months and weeks every single year. So we are respectfully not asking the board to ignore history. We are deeply respectful of the Shedler House that is there. And we would like to be able to come up with a thoughtful and inclusive plan that allows the Shedler House to continue to exist and to be honored, but allow us to, augment that with a field that will greatly serve the needs of community at this time. We appreciate all your, and respect all of the time that you're putting into this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, Ankit D.
Okay, Ankit D. Alonzo Angel, and I do not have Ankit D.
Do you have a Leo Roan? R-U-A-N-E?
Yes, I do. So
okay, that person is next.
Leo. Yep, Leo Roan, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute to speak.
Hi, Leo Ruan, Ridgewood's resident. The Historic Sites Council should deny Ridgewood's application as the field is too large for the property and unhealthy for kids due to turf. First, the village numbers don't hold up. The SHPO application claims Ridgewood has over 6,500 school-age children, or 25% of our population, but recent Ridgewood Board of Ed enrollment data shows it at about 5,500. They claim more than 5,000 sports registrants, but that wouldn't be 5,000 kids because kids play actual multiple sports, so they would be counted on multiple times. They had a change.org petition, but only 34% of the signatures came from Ridgewood. The rest came from places like Columbia and Walter White. We actually had our the residents here did proper paper verifiable with signatures ballots against the proposal. Second, there's no true field shortage. The village has not told you that Ben Franklin Middle School is being expanded and Orchard Field is back online. What Ridgewood really needs is a scheduling and management problem, not a land shortage problem. This is not an inner city district starved for space or cash. Ridgewood is an affluent suburb that can afford properly maintained grass fields, which are safer, cheaper, and in keeping with the historic character of the scheduled property. This decision will set a precedent for how New Jersey enforces its preservation standards. The facts show inflated numbers, misleading petitions, and available alternatives. I urge you to deny Ridgewood's application. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Patrick Holmes. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Patrick Holmes.
Okay, Patrick Holmes.
Yes. And can you scroll
Patrick.
the
Patrick, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute now.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Patrick Holmes, and I'm here to ask for your support of the Zabriskie Shedler House and Park proposal. I'm a Ridgewood resident and have a long history in Ridgewood, being born in the village, going through the school system, playing multiple youth and high school sports, and then returning over a little over 10 years ago to raise my family here. I bring a unique perspective to this meeting, given my long history in Ridgewood, my strong connection to youth athletics as a player, parent, and coach, and overall a strong belief in the importance of athletics for both young and old. And it's the older community I'd like to address today. I'm now witnessing the lack of field availability issue as a member of what has become a very strong adult soccer community in Ridgewood. I manage Ridgewood KGV, an adult soccer team that fields 2 competitive teams that play in the United Soccer League of New Jersey, an over 50 team and an over 60 team. Our team has historically had significant problems securing fields both for competitive play and for recreational play that we sponsor, including several programs this summer. Our team has a strong history in Ridgewood, providing substantial community, social, and recreational benefits to the village over the last few decades. These benefits, which are completely aligned with the New Jersey Department of Human Services age-friendly blueprint, are currently at risk if we cannot secure fields. I believe the Shedler proposal is a unique opportunity to provide major benefits to the village and its residents, including its older residents. Finally, one of the strong rationales for my family had for moving back to Ridgewood was its unique characteristics, and its history is certainly a major part of that. The village has done an admirable job renovating the house, but even after all this investments, it's really not accessible, and I would argue that's really not part of the village. With the addition of the park and all the benefits it will provide, it will no doubt bring much more interest to the house and its history. Otherwise, I fear that the house is at significant risk for falling into disrepair. That would be a real shame. Thanks for the time, and thank you for all the hard work the council does on behalf of the residents of New Jersey.
Thank you so much. Next, Rohan De Silva.
Wilhan, let's see. Meg, where are we at on the list? I'm sorry, can I see the name again? Oh, Rohan. Okay, Rohan.
Rohan De Silva.
I do not see Rohan De Silva.
Do you
not
see a
have
Dana?
Rohan De Silva. Okay, this is not Cynthia. This Clan De Silva is saying this is not correct. That's Cynthia H.
What? Just keep going down the list. Do you
Okay,
see a
sorry.
Dana?
Who's next? Dana.
So
Dana.
Rohan is Clan De Silva.
Right. Okay, so I'll unmute Clan De
Can you go
Silva.
back up? Can you go back up to this top of the list? I'm sorry. Do me a favor, just go back up to the top of the list. Okay, because there's a Freda that spoke the last time. Unmute
Right.
Clan De Silva, please.
Okay, unmuting Clan De Silva. Clan De Silva, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute. Clan De Silva, the microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute.
Okay, keep going. Next, Nancy
They just
Brennan Hill.
Clan De Silva asked how to come off of mute. There should be a button.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a microphone button per the instructions we gave at the beginning of the meeting. Top right microphone button. In the meeting, there's a button on the top right that says mic. You need to click that.
I'll be sure that it's enabled.
Yeah, I'll double check. So Clan De Silva is enabled because the prompt says disable mic, so it's enabled. I'll toggle it one more time. So Clan De Silva, allow Mike. So it should not be grayed out.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So it's not working.
All right, we have to move on. Nancy
their end,
Brennan
yeah,
Hill.
Okay. Nancy. I do not have a Nancy Brennan Hill.
Okay, we already spoke. John already spoke. So Dan, Georgia, whoever has the list, can you make it bigger, please?
Dan, Georgia.
Thank you. Thank you. And can you scroll
Okay,
it up?
so
There we go.
I have Dan Gio, yeah. So that's probably who we're looking for.
Yep.
Dan G, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute. Dan G, you can come off of mute. Your microphone is enabled.
I'm off of mute. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Dan Joya. I've been a resident of Ridgewood for scarily almost 30 years now. And, I think a lot of people ahead of me have had excellent comments. I just want to say a couple of things. One, I'm here to support the field and what's been going on or what is about to go on at Shedler. I think the town has created an interesting and unique and creative way to have people come to the field, come to the house, have a property where people can take advantage of the town and the facility, be able to see the house site and what have you. We do have a problem with fields in town, and the original idea was to buy the house and the property to create an ability to use a field. So I'd like to say that I think that the town has done a great job creating and putting forth a creative plan to be able to finance that, to be able to put people onto the site, whether they're there to watch a game or to pick up a kid for practice, or to just come and enjoy the property. So I'm for it, and appreciate all the efforts that you've made. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next is Jim Morgan.
Okay, Jim Morgan. I do not see a Jim Morgan now.
Okay, next Boyd Loving.
Boyd Loving.
Is on the phone. Last four digits 5252.
Okay, 5252. Okay, there we go. So now Mike. Okay. So Boyd Loving, last four digits 5252. Your microphone's enabled. You can come off of mute.
Hi, my name is Boyd A. Loving. Been a Ridgewood resident since 1979. The villagers argued in a court case in fighting a billboard directly across from the Shedler property that Shedler should be protected from, quote, out-of-scale visual intrusions in inadequately screened unsightly land uses, unquote. It is my impression that a 350-foot wide athletic field built of artificial turf are just those two things. It is an out-of-scale visual intrusion, and it is inadequately screened from the historic Shedler house. So I don't know why you would be considering something that is such an encroachment on the house. Also, the last-minute mitigation plan that was presented by the village on July 19th to construct a Bergen County History and Cultural Center, I have questions about whether that can come up and running. There is a shortage of volunteers to manage a facility like that, and I don't know if Ridgewood has established a budget to do it. So I would suggest that if that is going to be accepted as a mitigation plan, that center be fully up and running before the construction of any athletic facility is permitted. So I am urging you to vote no to this plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next is Cynthia Hallaby.
Okay, Cynthia Hallaby. Yes, I have Cynthia Hallaby here.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep. 1 second. Allow mic. Cynthia Hallaby, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute. Cynthia Hallaby, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute.
Yeah, good morning. This is Cynthia Hallaby, longtime Ridgewood resident since 1969, and I speak to you as the president of the Conservancy for Ridgewood Public Lands. The Conservancy has been extremely active in the community for over 13 years, following our mission of restoring and enhancing Ridgewood Village parklands. The Conservancy realizes the importance of this important purchase of land and the value of both passive and active space. The Shedler property would be of great interest to the Conservancy. It would present a perfect opportunity to include in the passive area a possible arboretum of native trees, which in turn would be yet another educational tool, particularly for our young people. It is our belief that the park properties are key for both the physical and mental well-being of our residents and visitors alike. I thank you for your time and hope that we will be able to move ahead with the plan submitted by the Village of Ridgewood. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next, Lauren Barnett.
Okay, and then also I do have Rohan De Silva said they're on a phone. If we want to go to them.
Okay, that's
we
fine.
can go. Okay. Okay, so I'm disabling Cynthia's microphone. And then 44, last 4 digits, 4484. So this is Rohan De Silva. I'm looking for the number again. Here's the number listed by Rohan, microphone allowed. So Rohan De Silva, last 4 digits, 4844. You are able to come off of mute. On your phone, that's *6. So Rohan De Silva, you said you called in 4844. Your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute. Okay.
Okay, can you
There
move
was
on to
something
Lauren
I
Barnett?
Okay. All right. Okay, Lauren Barnett. Okay, I have Lauren Barnett here. And Lauren Barnett, your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute to speak.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good morning. I'm Lauren Barnett. I'm from South Orange, and I'm involved with Climate Revolution Action Network, the largest Gen Z climate action organization in the state. If the DEP accepts Ridgewood's proposal to install an artificial turf field in a historic site currently covered with trees, it is failing to do its job of protecting public and environmental health. Research points to the numerous negative impacts of artificial turf, the existence of PFAS, aka dangerous forever chemicals, in its materials, the waste it creates when it which breaks down into microplastics, its inability to absorb water, which leads to flooding, the dangerously high temperatures it can reach, and the ecosystems it disrupts. By opposing this project, this is an opportunity to stop pollution at its source, which should be a priority in 2025, when New Jerseyans are being killed by flash flooding as a direct consequence of climate change. Last month, Plainfield was crushed by 2 major thunderstorms only 11 days apart. New Jersey residents should not be left wondering, will I be next? While those in charge disregard opportunities to mitigate the impacts of the climate crisis. This state needs to be putting people first, not pollutants. So therefore, I urge you to reject this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Rachel Dawn Davis.
Okay, Rachel Dawn Davis.
She may also be
Um,
listed as Water Spirit.
Yeah, she's
She's
listed as
raising her
Water
hand.
Spirit.
Water
Gotcha.
Spirit, yeah.
Raising her hand. Okay. Okay. So, Water Spirit, your microphone has been enabled. You are now able to come off of mute to speak.
Excellent. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. I'm Rachel Dawn Davis, Public Policy and Justice Organizer for Water Spirit. Water Spirit is a spiritual ecology nonprofit centered on water as a source and sustainer of all life, sponsored by the Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace. Our comments are on behalf of our thousands of community members in New Jersey and in the Northeast region, as well as around the world. Ridgewood's proposed artificial petrochemical plastic turf development at the historic Shedler property would have serious environmental and public health impacts, and we urge that the State Historic Preservation Office reject this proposal. These impacts will be detrimental to our waterways and exacerbate local heat island effects. To be very clear, one, natural grass is not more expensive than these alternatives, including maintenance, and two, plastic petrochemical surfaces often reach temperatures up to 60 to 80 degrees hotter than natural grasses. This endangers public health and safety and is entirely inappropriate for a site of historical significance where preserving the natural landscape is essential to honoring its legacy. Synthetic plastic turf is an impervious surface that often requires the removal of trees, which result in landslides and flooding. These playing fields put children in direct contact with PFAS. PFAS are forever chemicals. We need less chemicals, less childhood cancer. Water Spirit offers support by way of green infrastructure and stormwater management. We are glad to help. I grew up playing softball in Teaneck and surrounding Bergen County towns, and I cannot imagine having to play on plastic. Plastic turf is not thoughtful. It is a cop-out. The development of this property is completely inappropriate due to its historical significance. Additionally, NJDEP has issued soil sampling and analysis after contamination was found during previous construction at the site, so that needs to be addressed first and foremost. The public needs to be informed. We urge you to seek greener, more respectful alternatives that cool the land, protect our water, and honor our shared heritage, and do not put children's lives at risk. Do not allow for any more petrochemical PFAS surfaces at all in the state whatsoever, even a tiny bit. Again, it is not thoughtful. It is a cop-out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, can we have, go down to the bottom. Phone number ending in 3031.
Okay, phone number ending in 3031. I thought I saw it earlier. 3030. Oh, here it is. Okay. 1 second. Allow mic. Okay. Phone number ending in 3031. Your microphone is enabled. You can press *6 to come off of mute. Phone number ending in 3031. Your microphone is enabled.
Can you
Press
hear me?
*6.
Yes.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Nancy Brennan Hill, and I beg you to vote against this plan. I think if you showed groups of people a diagram of the plan that Ridgewood is proposing and asked them, what are you looking at? They would say that's a huge athletic field. While there will be other possibilities to solve the shortage of field problem, there's unlikely to be another opportunity like this to preserve historical space. Last meeting, somebody proposed putting up a row of fields between the house and the playing field as if that would solve the problem. It will not. So I think you have a decision to make. If you vote against it, there are all sorts of possible solutions. The Shedler people don't object to the original plan with a grass field in it. It's just this huge, humongous field that's causing the problem. So let them go back to the drawing board and come up with another solution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next.
Okay.
Christine Million is on the phone. Do we know 718? Do we know what the last digit is?
Yeah, I believe it's 7184821. So
Okay.
I will enable that microphone. Allow mic. Okay, Christina Million. Last 4 digits of your phone, 4821. You are able to come off of mute
Hi,
to speak.
Christina Million, can you hear me?
Yes.
Christina Million, Ridgewood resident. I respectfully urge the Historic Sites Council to deny Ridgewood's SHPO application.
This is not just my view. Many respected organizations have submitted letters opposing Ridgewood Sports Complex plan, including Crossroads of the American Revolution, the Bergen County Historical Society, the New Jersey Society of the Sons of the American Revolution, the National Parks Conservation Association, the Sierra Club, the Delaware Riverkeeper Network, Dr. Sarah Evans of Mount Sinai, New York, and the Plastic Pollution Coalition, among others. Exactly how many credible organizations need to be wrong for Ridgewood to be right here? The real harm to this site has come from the actions by the village. Without SHPO approval, millions of pounds of uncertified fill were deposited there, including soil from Ridgewood Water and Bergen Community College that exceeded NJDEP soil standards. It's worth noting that Richard Grubb and Associates on page 10 of the report that you guys have documented that this clearing and disturbance with the soil has already damaged and/or rendered archaeological resources inaccessible. Beyond these concerns, the application fails to meet multiple Secretary of the Interior standards, specifically standards 1, 2, and 9. The village's plan is not a minimal change. It is a wholesale transformation of the historic property into a large artificial turf field with fencing, bathrooms, and infrastructure that is completely out of scale with the historical house and setting. From the start, neighbors have supported a small grass field that respects the historic scale, honors the property's history, and keeps children and our environment safe. This is a neighborhood that is made up of former college athletes and parents of current ones. Practical preservation remains possible today with your help. I urge you to deny this application and require a plan that protects the Zabriskie-Shedler property for future generations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Next, last digits 8842. Can we unmute the last four digits?
Sorry, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, so last four digits, 8842. Your microphone is enabled. You are able to come off of mute. Last four digits, 8842. Your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute by pressing *6.
Okay, let's go to the next one. And I just want to remind everyone that is on this call, the chat is not to be used to speak to other people. It is only to be used to provide your name and comments to address the council. Thank you. Next, last four digits, 8017.
Okay, 8017. Last four digits. I am not seeing that phone number listed. Let me double check here. I don't see it. Yeah, so that would be 201-723-8101. No, I don't have that
Okay.
phone number currently in the group.
4977.
4977. I do not have a 4977 phone number either.
Do you have a 3103?
310. I have 3031. I think we just heard from them though.
303.
Yeah, so we have 3031 and 3103. So I'll double check. Yeah, there's
That's not the same phone. I don't think that's
Right.
the same phone.
Right. So 3031 is here, but I do not have 3103. No.
Okay, what if 8598?
8598. Hold on. So wait, 8598 is not there either. Let me
Okay.
check, see if I scroll, because the phone numbers are at the top. Yeah, I don't have an 8598.
Okay. Who is after that? James Feeney. Do you have a James Feeney?
Okay, James Feeney. I do not have James Bossler and James Cormillis. No James Feeney.
Okay, keep going down. Norca Schnell.
Norca
Shell?
Schnell.
Schell.
Yeah, no, Norca Schnell.
Okay, keep going down. Nadini Checo.
I do have Nadini Checo.
Okay, unmute that person.
Okay, Nadini Checo, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute. Nadini Checo, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute to speak.
Okay, go to the next person.
Okay.
Patricia Infantino.
Yes, I have Patricia Infantino. Patricia, okay, one second. So Patricia Infantino, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute to speak. Nandini Checo. Okay, yeah, Patricia Infantino, your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute to speak.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Can you get, yes. Hello. I'm gonna get that out of the room. Okay, so I'm Patricia Infantino. I respectfully ask you to deny this plan for this park of the Zabriskie Shedler house. I think that there are many reasons. I've lived here for 43 years. All my kids, my three sons, all played soccer. I think artificial turf is terrible. We have gotten a report from Dr. Sarah Evans in Mount Sinai about how terrible it is, and it was sent to the village council, and only one council person, Pam Perrin, agreed and was convinced by her report that artificial turf is very bad. Even a neighbor here who's an orthopedic surgeon said he'll get more patients if there's artificial turf. It gets very hot. It has chemicals and PFAS, and it also contributes to flooding and ruins the water in the neighborhood. I'm also I agree with the Sierra Club. I'm very worried about the mature trees being cut down. This park is right next to the highway, and it would be fine to be a passive park or a small playing field, but we're in front of a historic house and a historic field. It was a farmland, but before it was a farmland, it was a place where George Washington bivouacked there with his soldiers, and there's possible that was even used as a field in which they fought. So I'm just saying we don't have very many places that have historic relevance that we still have, and we really should hold on to this. There are other places that they could have.
Ms. Infantino, your time has expired.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Can we go back to Nadini Checo to see if you can unmute that person?
Yeah, sure. Okay. And so that was Patricia. I'm gonna disable Patricia's mic. Okay, Patricia, disable mic. And then we're gonna try Nadini Checo again. So I actually left Nadini's mic enabled the whole time. And so I'll toggle it again. So I hit disable and I'm hitting allow mic for Nadini Checo. Nadini Checo, your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute. Okay.
Still nothing?
So, no.
Okay. Who's
all right?
unmute 1030, last four digits 1306. Yeah, 1036.
1036, right. 1036 I saw earlier. I thought I saw it. Oh, there it is. Yep. Okay, and their hands up. Okay, 1036. Your microphone is now enabled. You can press *6 to come off of mute. So last four
Hi.
digits 10.
Hello, we hear you.
Hi, this is Madeline Gonzani. I have been a Ridgewood resident since 1979. I believe that the original plan that the neighborhood agreed to should be pursued. I think that the addition of this enormous playing field with artificial turf, there's so many environmental concerns that this shouldn't even be considered. I understand that they need more fields. I get all that, but still, the original plan was acceptable. The idea that artificial turf is superior to natural grass is ridiculous. And I think everybody knows that. It's just convenient. And I just urge you strongly to deny this application.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Jacqueline Hone.
Okay, Jacqueline Hone.
It's JH.
Yeah, JH. Okay, so Jacqueline Hone, JH, your mic is enabled. You can come off of mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I object to the proposed plan by the Village of Ridgewood. The village's application is factually incomplete, procedurally false, flawed, and inconsistent with the Secretary of the Interior Standards for Rehabilitation. A point-by-point complaint of these findings with evidence was submitted to this council via Chloe Gogo, your attorney. Please uphold your fiduciary obligation to review this complaint before making any decisions. In short, there is a serious appearance of impropriety which determined the alleged need and development proposed. Additionally, the information provided by the applicant 2008 to 2019 predates the commissioning of historical experts and designation of state and national registers and their findings. The proposed plan fails to address the known Revolutionary War activity on the Shedler property and constitutes encroachment on the historic house and historic partials, 4 of them, which make up the 7-acre lot. The proposed plan does not promote historic preservation, but rather contradicts the Secretary of Interior standards by failing to demonstrate the public benefit and support, failing to disclose and determine feasible and prudent alternatives do exist. Multiple alternatives are shown in a 2025 Board of Education feasibility report and the village's own recreational and facilities report called CMX, which is also in the point-by-point complaint that was sent to you. They also failed to disclose and avoid, reduce, and mitigate the encroachment and adverse impacts, including documented state and threatened endangered species. And they failed to disclose financials and adaptations to address natural hazards as well as sustainability. I urge you to deny the Village of Ridgewood's application.
Ms. Hone, your time has expired.
And please review the complaint. Please.
Thank you. Next is James Coromillis.
Okay, James Coromillis. I have James here, so 1 second. James Coromillis, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute now.
Yes, thank you. My name is James Coromillis. I'm a resident of Ridgewood since 1990. We raised 3 children who were avid participants in multiple sports, including baseball, softball, and soccer. I strongly oppose the current plan for a large multipurpose field within the Shedler property. My opposition is based on the health and environmental hazards related to an artificial turf field and to the fact that hundreds of trees will have to be removed. I support the construction of a small natural grass field that will fit in with the historic property. one multi-purpose field will not solve the current field's problem. The village needs to come up with a plan to manage the current fields that are available, including the 3 artificial turf fields that seem to be a big problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, Katrina Dudley.
Okay, Katrina Dudley. Yes, here. Okay, so Katrina Dudley, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for all your time and attention. My husband and I are currently raising our 5 children here in Ridgewood, New Jersey, and we are excited for a new park and play space, fields for our little student athletes, and especially for it to be so close to a historic site where not only can they enjoy the outdoors and play, but also learn and enjoy the traditions of Ridgewood. And we strongly support this new venture.
Okay, thank you.
That's all.
Thank you so much. Next, Steve Kim.
Okay, Steve Kim. I'm in the S's. Oh, here is Steve Kim. Okay. So Steve Kim, your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute to speak. Steve Kim, your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute to speak.
Okay, go to the next one then. Who's
Okay.
next?
Oh,
hello?
Yes.
Steve Kim?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Well, please consider who's proposing the plan. Ridgewood Village Council doesn't care about the historic house. The council hired a consultant to try to remove its historic designation. Council explored moving the house to make room for a bathroom. The council tried to buy the next door 510 West Saddle River Road to cut more trees to build a bathroom there. Raising down trees that shields the highway, activity, and sounds from the neighbors who live in that town, that is negative for the environment. It's simple as that. Putting rubber crumbs on that ground is toxic for the environment. Putting chemical-laden material over an aquifer is simply unconscionable. Residents drink that water. Please reject this plan. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, last 4 digits on the phone, 9954.
okay. Last 4 digits, 9954. I am not seeing a 9954 here. No, I do not have that.
Do you have 6613?
I do not have a 6613 phone number.
5631. Kaylin Tomaszewski.
Okay, 5631.
She's also in the chat, so I don't know.
She also.
Okay, Kaylin, I do not have your phone. I do not have the 5631 phone number, but I'll find the
Look for the name.
The profile. Yep. Okay. Kaylin Tomaszewski. Okay, so here's Kaylin Tomaszewski's profile. Kaylin, you have been unmuted, or your mic is enabled. You can unmute yourself now.
Hi, my name is Kaylin Tomaszewski. I've been a resident since 2017. Let me first apologize for writing in the chat. This is my first Zoom call. I'm calling to oppose this, and I'm opposing it because of all the contradictions that I'm hearing. We all know that PFAS leaks from artificial turf at the time. Right now, the village is spending tons of money to put in a treatment to remove PFAS. Probably 90% of our town has whole house water filters to remove PFAS. So I ask all of these parents why they are okay with their kids playing on AstroTurf, which they know the PFAS is going into their waterways. It is at the expense of their children's health, their future, and the sustainability of this entire planet, all for the sake of sports. I agree that we need to find more places for these kids to play, and I think that clearly is a scheduling issue. And as someone who played competitive soccer for my whole childhood up until I was older, I played on AstroTurf one time. And after the injuries I sustained from playing on that AstroTurf in Florida because of the heat and how hard it was on my body, I would never play on it again. I would never let my child play on AstroTurf just because of the health concerns that he would be engaging with. So I ask everyone here that is voting to look at all of the independent reviews, what the New Jersey DEP is currently doing with other towns in regards to PFAS and microplastics, and ask yourself, why would we approve this in Ridgewood if we are currently fighting it in other places in this town? And why do we have all of these experts trying to reject this, but we're just looking at it because we want our children to have more
Ms.
sports facilities.
Tomaszewski, your time has expired.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. Last four digits, go back up, Megan, 79. I can't see the phone number.
Was it 7906?
Yes, 7906, yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna put their hand down and enable their microphone. Okay, 7906, last four digits. Your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute to speak. That's *6.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Liz Cloak. I'm a 30-year resident of Ridgewood. I'm also a member of the Park and Recreation Commission, and I oversee the Senior Center and Community Center. I agree with everybody who talks about the need for fields. I raised my 4 children here. They're all doing wonderfully, and there's just not enough. But I'd just like to say that as a professor at Ramapo College, history needs to be relevant. So any way we can get people to that house, any way we can get them over there to see, to learn the history, to understand why we're here, what people did so that we could be here, and how this village has developed. I see both sides of this, but I also grew up in Boston, and I was a sailing teacher at in South Boston. We made a conscious decision to put the sailing center at the mouth of Castle Island so that when the children came to learn to sail, they also learned why, the importance of that island, what happened at that island, and why this country is the way it is today. Similarly, Plymouth Rock, as you guys know, was moved like 4 times to get it to a place where people could see it, appreciate it, and learn from it. History needs to be relevant, it needs to be alive, and it needs to be applicable to their everyday lives. And to drive by that house, to drive by that field and see it vacant and no one near it, around it, the passive park and the active park are equally need to be together to create an environment and a culture that allows education and allows history to be appreciated. I think if we miss the boat on this, that, the house will just sit as it
Ms.
has
Cloak,
for many, many
your
years.
time has expired.
Okay.
Thank you very much
so
for your time.
Next, last 4 digits, 8427.
Okay, 8427. Yes, I have that. And last 4 digits, 8427. Your microphone has been enabled. You can come off of mute. Let's press *6. Last 4 digits, 8427. Your microphone is enabled. You come off of mute, press *6.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Hello, can you speak, please? What's your name?
My name is Pamela Perrin. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Okay. I have served on the Ridgewood Village Council since 2020, and I would like to clarify the comment I wrote in the chat last month. I wrote that as the deputy mayor, I oppose artificial turf. Let me be clear. I do not speak for the full village council. In fact, mine is the minority opinion, so I speak in my individual capacity. In addition, I want to be mindful of the Historic Sites Council's mission. I will not belabor the risks to public health, the harm to the environment, and the extraordinary expense of artificial turf that form the bases of my opposition. I ask you to approve the plan without artificial turf. I do support a sports field on the Shedler property because by any of the standards outlined in the village's application, Ridgewood has too few recreational fields for its population. It's easy to say put it somewhere else, but there is nowhere else. We have no other vacant, appropriate, available land. So I urge you to approve a real grass playing field on this property. If artificial turf were installed, the dyed green blades that one would see would be made entirely of plastic. When the Zabriskie Shedler house was built in 1825, plastic did not exist. The precursor to plastic, Bakelite, wasn't even invented until 1907. Plastics didn't really take off until the 1930s. So a field of plastic turf next to a 200-year-old house is chronologically out of place. It will be jarring to those who come to recreate. Whatever historic value this house has will be undermined by artificial turf. I appreciate the village's proposal to plant a vegetative buffer to shield the house from the imitation grass carpet. However,
Ms.
in a
Perrin,
small
your
7-acre
time
park.
has expired.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, Andrea Mishler. She should be in the meeting.
Yep, I have. Okay. Oh. Andrea Mishler, your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I want to say that first of all, I've lived in Ridgewood for 45 years. And I currently live down the road from the Shedler for 35 years. And while I never had a problem with the original plan that Ridgewood had for that area, which consisted of a much smaller field, a walking path, which I was actually looking forward to being able to use, and also a playground for children, I thought this was a great idea. What I object to is the new plan, which requires a much larger field, lights, which will be disruptive to the neighborhood, and the fake turf field, which is very, very bad for the environment. And as someone else said, the town is spending all this money to get rid of PFAS from our water. And we've had to use ways to get rid of it in our houses. I don't understand why they would put in a fake field now and jeopardize the environment, the children who play on it. It kind of like is at cross purposes with having a field for kids and then poisoning them with all these chemicals. So I am against the large field with the fake turf grass. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, 4 digits, 8320.
8320. Okay. I do not have 8320.
Okay, 9307.
Yes, okay. Okay, so last 4 digits, 9307. Your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute using *6.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My name is Rohan De Silva, and I object to the proposed plan by the Village of Ridgewood as it'll destroy the historic character of the designated property. I have lived in this town for 21 years. I've raised 4 children who've been active in sport, and it is ridiculous to say that there are not enough fields. There are over 19 fields. There are 19 fields in Ridgewood. There is another way to do this, but the village council has railroaded us into doing this. In addition to that, this property had slaves on it per the Ridgewood Historical Society at the Schoolhouse Museum in Ridgewood. New Jersey was the last northern state in the Union to abolish slavery, of which Bergen County was the largest in the state. In the 1700s, 40% of Bergen County's labor force was comprised of enslaved people. In the 1800s, there were 3,000 slaves, making up nearly 20% of the general population. The Ridgewood Mayor, Vagianos, and council members are railroading the community and whitewashing history. This cannot be allowed to take place. In addition, I have a question to the Historical Society. I made an application to the New Jersey Environmental Justice Task Force due to the disproportionate environmental impact on a community that has the highest diverse population in Ridgewood, with an Asian community concentration much higher than the percentage in the greater Ridgewood community. There was no response to this application. I don't know what's happened. I am led to believe that SHPO now addresses this. I raise this as I would hope these important considerations will be factored into your review.
Mr. Del Silva, your time has expired.
Is being considered for the application.
Mr. De Silva,
Vote
thank
no.
you very much. Next is Jim Morgan.
Okay, Jim Morgan. J. Phil. Yes, okay, Jim Morgan. And 1 second, please. Okay, Jim Morgan, your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute. Jim Morgan, your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute.
He put a message in the chat that his sound just cut off, but
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
that's
there's 2 Jim
an
Morgans.
individual
I apologize. Real quick. You know what? Let me allow this other microphone. So, Jim Morgan, there's 2 Jim Morgans in this meeting, and they're both have microphones enabled. So, Jim Morgan.
Okay, keep going.
Okay.
3659.
3659. Yes, okay. 3659. 1 second. Allow mic. Okay, phone number ending in 3659. Your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute using *6.
Hi, my name is. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Good.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Mark Stepp. I'm a Ridgewood resident, 17 years. I'm a combat veteran and a father of 2 athletes in Ridgewood. I urge you to vote no on the Shedler project. It is vital that we remember our nation's history. Bulldozing a historic war site for another field dishonors the very legacy this country was built on. Ridgewood already has more than enough fields. The issue is neglect, not shortage. My wife, a loved trainer here for nearly 2 decades, spoke against this project because she cares about her players and their legacy and the environment. And for that, she was fired. That should tell you everything. And for all the sports parents pushing to destroy this land, maybe you should have served this country, fought in battle to understand the legacy that you guys are so eager to destroy. I fought for this country, and now I'm asking you to protect its history, protect our community, protect our environment, and vote no on Shedler. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, last 4 digits, 8427.
Okay, last 4 digits 8427. I do not have an 8427 number here.
Okay. Do you have 5244?
Yes, I do. One moment, please.
Okay.
Okay. Last four digits 5244. Your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute pressing *6. And in the meantime, Jim Morgan, both of your profiles are still unmuted. So
He also has a phone number of 1013 as well.
1013.
Yeah.
I'm not. That is not. There are no phone numbers 1013. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I also. Sorry. What was the prior number? 5244 is still unmuted or enabled. So 5244 phone number. You can unmute yourself.
Okay. What about 8842?
Yeah, I have 8842. So I will unmute them or allow their mic. 8842 phone number. Your microphone is enabled. You can speak.
Yes.
You can come off of mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Great. Okay. Last time I was on for 6 hours, I was thrown off both and never got to talk. And today it's ironic that I'm on.
Ma'am,
Jeanette
what is your name?
Jeanette LaRocco.
Okay, thank
it's
you.
ironic because today I'm in Hoboken. I don't have a computer, so I was using my phone instead of the Teams. I thought it might get screwed up again. So anyway, the irony of this is I'm babysitting my 2-year-old granddaughter alone. And I thought about what everyone said. I want you to vote against it, the field, because the simplicity of it is we don't have to worry about cancer in our water, cancer-causing plastics. Well, we're going to put it into our soil. It will go into our water system and into the water systems of those who live nearby at Shedler, who I've met many of them by this time. And this has been going on a long time. But what bothers me is when it was first proposed, I knew it was a smaller field and I was for it because it made sense. But the reality is they're not telling you why they need another field. They are not mitigating, spending the money in Ridgewood for all the floodplain fields. So what's happening is it includes AstroTurf, and they're not telling you how much it costs to replace it. It only lasts, I believe, 10 years, and it's most likely leaching every single time that it floods into our water system and into our soil. And it'll be generations before that can be removed. I'm against it because I don't want my 2-year-olds, when they move to Ridgewood, to be able to play on those fields. I don't want to have to worry about her getting injuries. When it's too hot, there was an incident with an athlete recently that because of those fields, I think he passed out. So the reality of it is there's no positivities about this. There's nothing good about it. And to have that size field is insane. There's no reason for it. If they would mitigate the other fields, this problem would end. And they haven't. And I don't understand why. Because they spent $10 million on the property. They could have used that money besides the house. Don't tell me it took $10 million to rehab it. To use it.
Ms. LaRocca, your time has expired.
Okay.
Thank you so
much. Last 3 digits, 8320.
8320. Yes, I have them. One moment. Okay, 8320. Your microphone is enabled. You can come off of mute pressing *6. Phone number, last 3 digits, 8320. And then, by the way, did we just announce a 1013? Maybe we can.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
After 83.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you state your name,
my
please?
name is Glenn Jorgensen. I'm a resident of Ridgewood. I was on the original Shedler Committee in 2009. We did a survey, and of a majority, I'd say close to 85% of the neighbors were in favor of Shedler. We spent the money to buy the property, which would have turned into a strip mall. We got funded by the county. To cut to the quick, I am 100% in favor of this and maintaining the Shedler Historic House. We can find uses for it. We need play fields for the kids. Turf fields are good. The city of New York, city of Patterson, the city of Newark all have them. I think we've been misfed some incorrect technical information on that, and I am 100% in favor of this, and I started this process in 2009, and I appreciate if you could pass this and hand it off to our town council. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Do you see a last four digits 3654?
3654.
It should be
I had,
Norca Shell.
no, I am not seeing a 3654.
Okay.
No, and
Who's-
then again, as I mentioned, there was a 1013. I know we mentioned earlier. They're
Okay,
on now, and they have their
Can
hand
you
raised.
undo 1013?
Sure.
That should be Jim Morgan.
Okay. Yeah, Jim Morgan. Phone number 1013.
Hello.
I have enabled. Hello.
Mr. Morgan?
Hi. Yes.
Hi.
Thank you for your efforts and thoughtful consideration of the situation. My name is Jim Morgan. I live in Ridgewood, New Jersey. After growing up in the surrounding towns, my family moved to Ridgewood in 1992. I was elected to the Board of Education 3 times and served as vice president there. I've been involved with Ridgewood Parks and Rec since 2010, first as the BEO liaison, more recently as a trustee. I'm very familiar with the Shedler Park project. Ridgewood has a growing number of children and adults looking for fields to participate in team sports. Because of a lack of developed space, the village is always looking for open areas for its parks. The 7-acre Shedler parcel on the market in 2009 was acquired to meet these needs. The design for Shedler was agreed to in 2017 by a broad committee of village residents. The village then invested almost $2.5 million in grants and Ridgewood taxpayer funds to stabilize and restore the house and the other property. That work is now complete, and the village needs to move forward with the rest of the design plan. The argument that the field endangers the historic location of the house is short-sighted in my view. Historic property fulfills its reasons for preservation by attracting a wide range of visitors. An historic site should engage new visitors and expand their knowledge about the area's past. During my participation in the Shedler discussions, I've learned much about the parameters placed in the American Revolutionary War. This design plan allows that to move forward and more to learn about the history. Simply preserve something without promoting public visitation is to create a static monument that is likely to ossify. It would be like building a school without seeking students. The Shedler property is physically separated from most of Ridgewood and it's difficult for anyone to visit. The access points are through small residential streets or off Route 17. There are no stores or other amenities to draw visitors to the park area. You must have a reason to visit the neighborhood. The installation of turf fields and playgrounds will, for the first time, give the area the exposure and energy it needs. Visitors to Shedler Park for sports or play.
Mr. Morgan, your time has expired.
Thank you very much, and I urge you to pass this.
Thank you. Okay, so I thank you for everyone that did provide comments. I'm closing the public comment portion of this application, and we are going to move on. Megan, I believe what I want to do is take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
And then when we return from the break, I believe the applicant just wants to provide some comments, and then we will review the resolution. Sorry. Okay.
That's fine.
My mind is like.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, so it's 12:19 now. Actually, why don't we come back at 12:25?
Okay.
And at 12:25, we will resume and we will be prepared to have the applicant provide their final comments, and then we will start to review the resolution.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, it's 12:25. I just want to make sure all the council members are back. Flavia, are you back? Luann? Susan? Jean? Michelle?
Yes. Susan's here.
Okay, thank you. Susan, Flavia? Jean?
Sorry, I'm here.
That's okay. Michelle?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we're just waiting on Flavia. We need her to come back. And while we're waiting for that, do we have the applicant ready, queued up and ready to speak once Flavia comes back? Flavia, are you back yet?
Madam Chair, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Keith Kazmark representing the Village of Ridgewood.
Hi, could you give me 1 second? I'm looking for one more of our council members. I have to make sure.
Absolutely. I have, just on a technical side, I have microphone access. I don't have camera access as of yet.
Okay. And are you just speaking or do you need to present something?
I'm speaking. I do have Carol Balkowski on my communication staff who's just going to share some slides just to support my final remarks.
Okay, so.
Okay. Keith, you should be able to turn on your camera now as well. And then I am going to get Carol enabled also. I saw her just a second ago. Where did it go? Oh, there, she raised her hand.
She's got her hand raised. Yes.
Right. Okay. So allow Mike. Where did I go? Okay. Allow Mike for Carol. And allow camera. Oh, and I'll make her a presenter then as well. So make presenter.
Yes.
Okay. So Carol should be a presenter and have full access camera and microphone as well.
Okay. So just because this is being recorded, just as you are speaking, just reintroduce yourself and indicate your role with the application so that it's on the record, okay?
Sure. My name is Keith Kazmark. I'm the village manager here in Ridgewood, and I'm presenting the application on behalf of the village today.
And I'm Carol Bielkowski, the Director of Communications and Special Projects at the village.
So we're good to go. Our last council member has joined us, so you can proceed.
So Carol, if you could just share the slides.
Can someone give me the ability to share the screen? Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Can everybody see?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Chair, and thank you to the Historic Sites Council for the opportunity to present this application and to respond to some of the questions raised and the mitigation conditions mentioned at the HPO meeting in July. As you know, there's been a lot of passion around this project for many years. We've heard a lot of public comment back in July and again today. But I'd like to refocus on the criteria under the purview of the Historic Sites Council as I address some of the issues raised. First, in regard to the inquiries about the proposed History and Cultural Center of Bergen County at the Zabriskie Shedler House, on August 13th, the Village of Ridgewood Council unanimously approved Resolution R25-346, committing the necessary resources and funding to establish the center. On July 22nd, the Ridgewood Library Board unanimously adopted Resolution 25-15, partnering with the village on behalf of the Bolger Heritage Center to support and participate in establishing the History and Cultural Center. And the village is in receipt of a letter dated July 28th, acknowledging the support and participation from the Ridgewood Historical Society. The village is collaborating with our partners to develop an operations and management plan for the center, outlining the programs to be offered, hours of operation, and the structure of the partnership. We've also drafted a financial plan, which includes an additional commitment of $100,000 from our 2026 capital budget for physical startup costs in order to purchase equipment and display cases, and for the development of exhibit and educational materials. The village also plans to budget for permanent staffing, operational and utility costs, and programming in our 2026 operating budget. In addition, interpretive panels will be strategically placed throughout the site to highlight key historic events, cultural themes, and the significance of both the house and the surrounding park. Each panel will feature QR codes that link to expanded online content, allowing visitors to delve deeper into the local history and better understand the enduring importance of this site within our community. In response to an inquiry by Historic Sites Council member Mary Lou Erler at the last hearing, the village directed Suburban Engineering to provide an alternative site plan which moves the field farther away from the house. In this adjusted concept shown on screen, the field is 171 feet away from the house compared to 63 feet in the original site plan. Also with this option, you'll notice that the restrooms have been relocated to the parking lot area, away from neighboring homes, an issue that has been raised by certain residents over the past month. A second row of trees has been added to the north side of the property, providing a more substantial buffer between the park and the homes. The number of parking spaces in the lot has increased from 41 to 53 to provide for additional off-street parking, but in a more centralized area within the park. And the temporary bleachers along the field have been removed from the plan. All of these changes were based upon resident feedback and concerns. While this is not a newly submitted plan, should the Historic Sites Council prefer the field being relocated, as was suggested at the last hearing, the village would be agreeable to making that change as a condition. Additionally, we think this option may be preferable, as moving the field now reduces any impact to Core Area 1 identified in the completed archaeological surveys. Therefore, the condition for monitoring and recovery would not be warranted if this option was pursued. Another condition discussed at the last hearing was the retention of a landscape architect with historic design background. Joe Perillo, a vice president at Suburban Engineering, has more than 38 years of experience in the field and has worked on numerous projects in historic parks designed by Frederick Law Olmsted, located throughout the Essex and Union County park systems, as well as historic projects for the state of New Jersey. If Joe's qualifications meet HPO standard, we will use Suburban to finalize the landscape design if approved. However, if the HPO requests that a second set of eyes, who also possesses this required qualifications, review this plan, we are agreeable to that requirement as well. In response to questions asked at the last hearing, the village has copies of a sound study, various traffic studies, and a wildlife habitat analysis, which was conducted by the NJDEP. We are happy to share those with the HPO as well. Finally, we are also amenable to all required documentation of level 3 standards, a complete review of the final park plans by the HPO as outlined in Jennifer Linus's email of July 23rd, 2025 to my office. In closing, the Zabriskie Shedler property has the potential to become a truly exceptional place. Yet the controversy and debate surrounding this project has gone on for far too long. Today, we present the Historic Sites Council with a balanced plan, one that addresses many resident concerns and provides for the village's recreational needs while honoring, preserving, and celebrating the historic character of the Zabriskie Shedler House through the creation of the History and Cultural Center of Bergen County. Without approval of this application, we truly run the risk of allowing the house to fall into the very state of vacancy and neglect that the village has worked so hard and invested so much to prevent. Again, we thank you for your time and consideration today.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone from council have follow-up questions in regards to the revised plan that was presented, or any other questions that they would like to present to the applicant? And I'm going to ask the council to turn your cameras on, because that's the only way that I can actually really see you, since there's so many people on the call. See Jean. Flavia, has your camera on? And Luann. And Susan. Oh, Michelle, I see you. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
My technology is working today.
You're good.
I just have a question, because I did not have access to the full folder. Were all of these recent plans, these resolutions by Ridgewood Council and these photos, were they submitted and to the Historic Sites Council staff before
So
this
through
meeting?
you, Chair, to Member Glassberg, we were directed not to submit any additional materials after the last Historic Sites Council meeting. So we honored that request. But in light of the fact that questions were asked today and questions have been asked here in the community, we just wanted to present in our summation that those approvals of the Village Council, the Library Board, and the consent from the Ridgewood Historical Society have been received by the village.
Okay, and I have one other really easy question, and I've looked through the resolutions and may have missed it. What is the actual dimensions foot-wise of the actual playing field as currently submitted?
Through you, Chair, if we could include Joe Perillo from our engineering team, just to answer that question, that would be helpful.
Yes, so we would need to give him access to his mic and the camera to be able to respond.
That would be Joseph D. Perillo.
This is Joe. I did unmute. Let me see if I get my camera to work here. Yes. Can you repeat the question?
Sure. I was asking for the dimensions of the athletic field as presented in feet.
Yeah, they're the same dimensions as in the previous plan. I don't have the plan with me. It's about, I think it was about 360 feet long by about, I think it was 190, 200 feet wide. They are the same exact dimensions as the previous plan, just oriented differently.
And maybe Keith then can clarify, wasn't the original plan for a grass field, and I might have 150 by 225 feet?
So there were many renditions of this plan. There were always discussions about turf, even going back to the 2017 ad hoc committee. It was a smaller field, but turf was included in that report. So there have been discussions back and forth as administrations changed here between turf and grass, size, location, all of that. And again, as was discussed during the public comment, one of the major reasons for proposing the sized field and the surface of the field that you see before you today is the continuous flooding that we've experienced in other areas of the village that have affected our athletic facilities.
Those are all my questions.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. So I'm just going to
Chair, if I could just stress one thing, I want to make it clear, we're not changing our application today. We're responding to the inquiries that were made both during the Historic Sites Council meeting back on July 21st and some of the inquiries that were made today with regard to the legitimacy of the Historic and Cultural Center of Bergen County, in addition to the concerns that Member Eller brought up with regard to the location of the field and whether it would be possible to push it further away from the house. So I just want to make that clear. Nothing's changed, nothing's been submitted, but these are things that we wanted to discuss in response to that could be part of the conditions that you discuss when you deliberate the resolutions.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. I'm going to go down the line here just to make sure. Jean, do you have any other questions? Can you hear me, Jean?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I didn't raise my hand.
Okay. No, I know you didn't. I'm just going down the line because I
Oh,
can't
I
see everybody. Flavia, can you turn your camera on and let me know if you have any other questions? Because I can't see you. And the same for Luann.
Hi, I've had
Hi.
my camera on the whole time, but I guess I will
Yeah.
ask one question, and that is beyond the organizations within Ridgewood that have recently been consulted about a Bergen County History Center. What about all of the other historical properties in Bergen County, including the County Historical Society? It seems to me that if we are truly talking about a Bergen County history center, it truly exceeds the boundaries of the village of Ridgewood. Perhaps that wasn't a question, but.
Well, if I could just speak to that, I think one of the reasons in our, through you, Madam Chair, I think one of the reasons that the name of the center includes Bergen County's name rather than just Ridgewood's name was for exactly that purpose. We're looking to attract people from all over the area. Mr. Morgan, who spoke as one of the last speakers today, talked about the need to bring people to the site. And we think that calling it the Bergen County History and Cultural Center rather than the Ridgewood History and Cultural Center will attract additional people to both the park and to the house in order to explore the history of the entire area. I mean, just up the block is Hohokus. On the other side of the highway is Paramus. We want to attract people from this entire region and throughout the state to the site to appreciate the historic value of the house and also enjoy the recreational amenities at the site were approved.
Okay. Luann, are you good?
Yes, I understand the situation.
Susan, can you turn your camera on, Susan?
Oh, I thought it was. There
No,
it is.
it might be. I just I can't. There's
I have
so many
no-
people.
I have no questions of the applicant at this time.
You have no question. Okay, thank
Nope.
you. And Flavia, so leave your camera on. And then Flavia, can you turn your camera back on so that I can see you? And then just confirm that you don't, whether or not you have any other additional questions. Flavia, if you are talking, you're on mute.
My camera is on. I'm not
Nope,
sure why.
I can see you now. Because there's like 6 pages of people
Attendees,
attending.
yeah, I understand.
Yes. Do you have any other questions or are you fine?
I'm okay.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Kaczmarek, thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you, and we appreciate your consideration today.
I am going to close the applicant portion of this application, and then if staff can please bring up the resolution. Okay. And then I need, well, 2 things. I need a first and second to move to review the resolution.
So moved.
Thank you, Flavia.
I'll second.
Who was the first?
The first was Flavia, the second was Susan.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Who's driving the bus here? Jennifer. Thank
Yes.
you, Jennifer.
Yep, sure.
All right. So you can go
Uh,
down and I think maybe start with after the whereas clauses, and it might be
Sure.
good because we kind of went through this a while ago. Not for you to read the whole thing, but kind of just give if you can give a little bit of a summary of each point.
Sure. Okay, so 1 and 2 are both summaries from the National Register nomination regarding the history of the property. 3 talks about the purchase of the property by the village, and 4 describes the property. It's a description of the proposed development from the village's application. So it explains, everything they had in their application in terms of what would be involved. And just yell if I'm going too fast. I assume you don't want to read that real closely. Okay, so 5 is where, based on the plans, we added some additional details to what's proposed in the project that was not included specifically in the village's description in the application. Let's see. 6 is just additional information about what the bathroom structure would look like. And 7 is additional information about the landscape plan, as is 8. It talks about the types of plants. 9 relates to the parking that's proposed for the project. 10 is about the size of the field in relation to the property as a whole. So we wanted to understand what percentage of the property would be covered by the field. So that's what 10 is about. And then 11 sort of recounts the history of the project, beginning with the construction of the berm in 2019. And continuing with a description of our consultation with them on the earlier plan involving the smaller field at the site. Again, 13 is more about the history, the construction of the berm being approved. 14 summarizes the Bureau of Solid Waste Compliance and Enforcement involvement at the site. I can go back if you need to see that in more detail. 15 is also about that, the berm removal. And then 16 begins the archaeology summary. So that's the next few bullets here regarding the phase. Yeah.
I'm sorry, go back to 14.
Yeah.
And was there information that was included about the remediation that is currently required?
So I think the last point here, 6, talks about how they're still working on the scope of work of exactly what the remedial action plan looks like, and that will be submitted to DEP and incorporated into the construction of the site. So they hope to do that and the construction of the project at the same time. Does that answer your question?
Yes, but I don't think there's been an actual full environmental impact analysis that's been submitted, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. I'm putting that in the back of my mind here.
Okay. Yep. Let's see. So again, 16, 17 describes the archaeological survey work that was done at the site and the findings. The phase 2 work plan was approved. That's 18. And 19, we received a summary, but have not received the report itself. 20 is about the proposed archaeological monitoring. And then 21 sort of summarizes the village's statements regarding the their engagement with the public regarding the project, and the concerns that residents have raised is 22. And again, the public sort of engagement in the process this is all straight from their application regarding what they've done to engage the public. Then it continues by talking about the application addresses the fact that the landscape has changed at the house. Since its historic period, And let's see, 25 is related to the rehabilitation of the house itself. And the fact that grant funding was used for a portion of the $2.6 million that were invested in the project, both from the state and county funds. 16 just summarizes the fact that there are no wetlands or any other DEP permits involved, except for the issues with the remedial action permit from the rest of the department. 27 addresses the Bergen County does hold a conservation easement on the property, but it doesn't restrict the use, the development of an athletic field here. 28 is the HPC's approval. 29 summarizes comments from village historians that were submitted to our office. 30 talks about the petitions and letters of support provided by the village, and 31 talks about the letters and petitions in opposition to the plan from residents. 32, the Historic Preservation Office received a proposed National Register amendment to expand the period and areas of significance for the historic property, but that has not, no formal changes have been made, so it's just documenting that. 33 is about our site visit and what we observed during that site visit in February 2023. 34 finally gets to which standard it does. Standard 2 is, the standard requiring that the historic character of a property be retained and preserved, and addresses why this project does not meet the standards, as does 35. Moving on to the public benefit section. This is all directly from the application about the, the proposed, the need of the project in the community, the recreational facilities. So 37 also talks about how many residents they have that use the facilities and the need for the project. And then the rest of this is going to dive more into it. How many parks they have, how many fields they have, the issues with flooding on a lot of their other fields due to their proximity to the Ho-Ho-Kus Brook. Number 40 summarizes the assessment of existing athletic fields that was prepared by Suburban Consulting. So that's a report that was included in the application. So it goes over the various past plans and the need for the project, sort of looking at the specifics of how much open space exists and how many fields they have, that kind of thing. Again, just if anybody needs me to slow down or stop, just yell. What's in the master plan, how they allocate use of fields, documenting the overuse of the grass fields and the challenges of grass fields, and then getting into why they've elected for the turf fields, the advantages of the turf. More about field usage and whether or not there are other facilities that might accommodate a full-size field. Uh, 41 addresses a field feasibility study that the Ridgewood Board of Education recently completed, and just summarizes what their facilities are and what the recommendations from that report are, acknowledging that they are not directly controlled by the village. The village provided its most recent open space and recreation plan from 2022, which acknowledges the project need. 43 is a letter of from a certified sports field consultant provided by the village in support of their application and the assessment that turf is needed over grass at this location. And then this is just kind of a summary from their application again, that it would why they're asking for the turf field and a full-size field. Then we get into the alternatives. We have, again, these are directly from their application, but the no build, alternative design, which addresses earlier designs and talks about the grass versus turf. They looked at another build location. So that's what alternative 3, and then alternative 4 is their preferred alternative, separate, which they call separation of the house and park amenities. Uh, 46, we asked them to look at an additional alternative, the one that predates the original smaller field at the site that we consulted with them on for between 2020 and 2022, and their response to our request to look at that proposal again. This just again sort of goes into some of the other alternatives that we've discussed in a meeting prior to the Sites Council meeting about other places to put the turf field in the village. Again, just more about other locations where there might be possibilities, including the Upper Ridgewood Tennis Club. This references back to that school athletic field study. This just refers to the history of the project again, and the fact that they have stated that there was always an intention to construct a full-size multi-use athletic field at this location. 52 just addresses the fact that although the village has stated that they've always planned for a turf field here, none of the consultation between 2020 and 2022 about the field ever addressed the issue of a potential turf field. It was always grass that we discussed in our records. 53 and 54 talk about the council's or the department's approval of turf fields in other locations. This is an issue that the applicant brought up, so we addressed it here. They brought up examples at Goffelbrook Park, Homestead Farm, and Shadow Lawn. Shadow Lawn was not reviewed by Sites Council because it was not a public undertaking. Goffelbrook and Homestead Farm were approved, but both were ultimately approved. But in both cases, they were much bigger historic properties. And that's kind of what this next section, sorry, getting ahead of myself. This is what this next section talks about, is the difference in size of those properties and the historic use, that while there are, that there was a precedent for active recreation use in those locations.
There was, but in those cases, the properties were significantly larger than this particular property.
Correct. Correct. And then the mitigation section just recites what the village has proposed or had proposed in their original application as mitigation, including a request that the previously completed restoration of the house be included as a mitigation, development of a strategic use plan for the house, development of an interpretive plan for the house, including an exhibition of the archaeological materials, a digital exhibition of the history of the house, and figuring out how to make the place available for public viewing, installation of interpretive panels in the park, and archaeological monitoring within Site Core Area 1 during park construction. And then 57 addresses the supplemental submission that was provided right before the last council meeting about the History and Cultural Center of Bergen County. So this just summarizes what was in that supplemental submission in terms of what they're proposing to do there.
Okay.
And then 58 points out that at that time there was no funding behind that proposed project.
So I think that we do need to probably add a new number 59 to just capture the additional information that was provided or presented by the village, which includes a revised plan showing the potential to move the ball field farther away from the house. It included removing the bleachers and adding a second row of trees at the rear. I don't know what that road is, but that's adjoining the other property. And I think they may have actually moved the bathrooms as well. They also, I think, increased the number of parking spaces. So I do want that to be just captured so that it's in the record that was, and then I think you probably, so at the beginning, will you say at the meeting, I think you got to put today's date.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
I
it's
can go back and
okay.
Yep.
So that's clear. I think at the moment, those are the I think it might also be important to, although it may actually still be maybe covered. We had a lot of public testimony about the environmental impacts from the turf. For the proposed turf field. And I'm not sure how much that's captured at the farther up in the notes, but I think we should definitely make sure that we include information on that.
Okay.
And I think also maybe another new 60 as far as, or 61 for public comment is the desire to retain the historic integrity of the site to the greatest extent possible, which did include having a field, but a grass field that was more in keeping with the historic nature of the site, or the use, I should say, the use of the site. Can anybody else think of anything else that should be added based off of testimony or based off of the presentation that was made by the applicant? And I know this has been going on over several months, so.
I think we had testimony not only about the grass being more in keeping with the historic integrity of the site, but also more in keeping with the environmental concerns of the community.
Yes. And then for number 59, the other thing that I just remembered is I believe that the applicant provided testimony that with the potential proposed new layout that it could potentially avoid the archaeologically sensitive locations of the site. Luann, did I hear that right? Did you hear that as well? I thought that's what I heard.
Yes, I did, according to the recommendations for what constituted the core site.
Other than these items, is there anything else that anyone thinks that we should add?
Just for that number 59, what they specifically said was that it would have less impact on the core area 1.
Less impact. Okay, thank
I believe that's what they said, which I think is the area next to the house. And I assume that's because it's moving the whole athletic portion further from the house. You don't have to keep that all in there, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
Okay, thank you.
Does just adding that parent, is it the reference to the area that you specifically want in there, or is my language okay, I guess? I mean, I can.
The area, because I
make
don't think it makes any difference to the other core area.
Okay.
I think it just made a difference to that one.
To avoid core area 1. Just change it to avoid core area. Site core area 1.
Yeah,
How
but
about
you need to include the inference for archaeology so that they know that the core area 1 is for archaeology.
Yeah, right. You could call it the archaeological core area 1, something like that to clarify that.
Thank you. How about that? I probably don't need of the site.
Okay. Are there any other items? Oh, okay. So oh my God, I don't even know. Megan, who were the first and seconds that moved to review the resolution? Oh, it was Flavia
and
Susan. Susan?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first and seconds, do you accept the changes to the resolution? Flavia, you're on mute.
I accept the changes, but I'd like to review them again to see if there's anything that I feel needs to be added.
Absolutely.
So could we scroll back to the top? I did not get a copy of the resolution independent of this.
The only changes we made were at the very end.
Yes, I know. So
okay.
Please, let's scroll to the end. Excuse me, and look at those changes. I'm still not seeing the end.
I'm confused about where you want me to be. I'm sorry. I thought you said to get back to the top.
The end of the resolution.
Well, that's okay. That's where I was.
And actually, I thought of two other things. So when you
sorry, close your eyes. Okay, there we go. All right. Can you see that now?
I do see it now. Yes, and I'd like to be able to read it.
Okay. Yep.
And Flavia, when you're done reading it, there's like one or two other things I think we need to add.
Okay.
In number 59, it reads that there will not be bleachers at all. Is that correct?
The testimony was that the bleachers were going to be removed from that plan.
Removed from, I'm sorry.
So originally, in the original plan, they had bleachers that I think could hold like 50 people, like removable
Right,
bleachers.
That were removable.
Yes, and in this plan, they're saying no bleachers at all.
No bleachers at all.
Yes.
Okay.
Did I rephrase that since that was confusing?
No, I
so
just
maybe-
wanted to clarify that. In fact, they said there will be no bleachers.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe instead of saying removing the bleachers, just say that there will be
Removing the bleachers completely, it would be soon.
that the applicant stated there would be no bleachers.
Is that better? And
Yes.
I have one more question.
Uh-huh.
Down in this area, and it might have been addressed earlier on about where you're talking about receiving public testimony regarding the different things. And what I heard also was a lot of testimony regarding the new size and scope of the plan compared to previous versions.
Yes.
I don't know if that's addressed somewhere else or whether it needs to be added or not.
I think we can add it, and then
yeah, I think
Jennifer
if it's related to
can-
the testimony. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sorry, I heard what you said, but that the
application
State it again.
a significantly larger field than had been discussed or presented in earlier meetings with the public or the village, with the village community. I think those numbers are presented farther up. That it was 225 by 150 or something. Michelle, I think you'd asked
Right.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
does that capture?
I would say the proposed layout of the ball field, because it's the ball field and specifically, or the athletic field, excuse me.
Yes,
the
that's
athletic
right,
field.
That's great.
Right. Thank you.
So I think you also should add that there was also significant testimony received that, in support of needing additional athletic fields due to the number of children or let's see, I don't want to say this. Due to the increase, instead of the number of children, the increased need, because it's not just the children, the increased need of playing fields within the community. And then I also think that we need to add, and I don't think it has to go under 59, but the applicant did show two resolutions. One was for the money that has been sort of earmarked or set aside for the development of programming for
The Zabriskie House?
yes.
Mhm.
And then also the collaboration with, and I don't remember the name of the library, but there was a resolution for that as well. Okay,
I have a question.
yes.
So the applicant stated that they weren't amending their application, but this makes it seem to me as though the new plan that they showed us is part of this application. So just if you could clarify for me how we're supposed to consider that.
So that's a good point. So I think if we go to number 59, maybe we should state, because they didn't submit a revised plan, they showed,
Right.
or they presented a revised, they presented a revised plan for the park. And I think, Jennifer, you have to say at the end, these materials were not, have not formally been submitted.
I think they were showing it to us not as a